Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. So this one's gonna be a bit of a different video, but before we get into it, some of the things throughout this video may be recorded at different timelines and different time periods. So if there are days I found different or something, that is probably why. Anyways, let's get into the first thing. So many of you know they added new actions to the game, but one of them is named the Tactical Salute. But I'm sure you notice that it looks familiar. Now, if you do it that way, it's different. But if you double tap it, it's the same animation. And that is because the animation files are the same. So if you think the normal salute animation, when you double tap it instead of just single tapping, I forget who found this. I'll see if I can find it and I'll put their Twitter up on the screen. But hopefully that gets fixed with whatever the next patch update is. Now, speaking of animations, fun fact, if you drink enough alcohol and get into a cop car, not your personal one, you'll get a wanted level. But what's kind of funny about this is if you do this and you get into a personal cop car, and it doesn't matter which one, it could be any, but I'm just using the amazing Crown Vic for this example. Now if I get in and drive, I will get a wanted level. Did you know the reason why your outfits get broken and reset the default is because of a game-breaking bug that they caused a while back ago when they patched the checkerboard outfits? This is directed only towards male characters. This does not happen on female characters. And the reason for this is because the pilot headset on male characters have been blacklisted because they accidentally blacklisted it, I'm guessing, when they blacklisted some of the checkerboarded stuff. But on female characters, it is completely fine. We have seen this issue before with the OG police outfit and the green trash man outfits. To this day, that is still an issue. But here's what's weird. So obviously it's not going to work unless I take the helmet off. For this, it'll just erase logos and do that, which is also something you might have also noticed instead of it breaking your outfit, is logos on your outfit just disappearing instead. Also because of the checkerboard stuff and because of the pilot headset. Well, here's a fun little weird thing that happened that I found out a while back ago, which you can see on one of my older videos. If you didn't notice, my boots are different from the ones that were unlocked a while back ago. This is the Noose outfit that you could get from the Diamond Casino High store using one of the missions from Husky. Well, if you use the one that you unlock, you notice that the boots are different. And this is going to play a really big role here in a second, and you will see why. And I still have not been able to figure out what exactly causes this specific issue. But if you use this specific Noose outfit, but this specific outfit that you unlocked a while back for completing some challenges like a year or so ago, if you get on or get in a helicopter or on the jetpack with this specific outfit, this happens instead. Like I said earlier, as to why this happens, I do not know why, but let's move on. Did you know that Trevor's body, or aka Trevor's truck, and the clown van have hitches on them? But here's a little weird one that not many people probably know, is Trevor's truck was his hitch was actually supposed to be functional, but was removed before the game's release. As to the clown bands, I am not sure if it was ever supposed to function, but it does have it, which is pretty odd because considering no other Speedo in the game has it, this is the only version that does have it. Did you know that you can accidentally find reminiscences of the old casino, but not through ways that you would expect? If you remember, the old casino had a blue fence that wrapped around it. Since then, it was removed and replaced with these bushes. What they didn't think about was the collision where those fences used to be. Causing weird scenarios like that to happen. Speaking of vehicles like this, did you know that all service vehicles, including vehicles like this that aren't directly service related, but are part of the service vehicle itself, aka the Acid Lab, can have year-round Christmas horns? So for this one's a 2-for-1, but it's still pretty interesting regardless. So first part, did you know that these stoplights can actually be shot out? Wow, it just bamboozled me. But they can be shot out. What's funny though is that if you shoot the light on the top, it breaks the entire stoplight. Part 2 of this, did you know that there are actually supposed to be more street lights? Yes, there were supposed to be more street lights than just the ones that we got, which is the same stoplight that's seen literally across the entire map. The only exception to this is the stoplight down in Paleto Bay at this specific intersection. The stoplights are different, and they are not the ones that you would see on poles. They're just little pole lights, I guess you would say. I don't know how to explain those ones. Okay, so this one is also going to be a bit of a weird one, and this one I cannot personally explain. It's if somebody has access to the game files, can maybe look into this to see what can potentially be causing this. That would be great to know. It's something that I've never actually figured out for myself, and I don't think a lot of people have ever actually truly noticed, but this is the only stoplight in the whole game that does not function. These stoplights have never worked once. What makes it weirder, as if you've noticed, compared to every other stoplight in the game, the poles are on this side closer to the drivers. Usually the poles are over there and over here and over here, but these poles are right above, making it really weird that these are also the only ones that don't work. And before we get to the next one, the other stoplight models that were supposed to be in the game were supposed to be singular ones, and the big old crosswalk one, or whatever you call them, the ones that go across the multi-lanes. They were actually supposed to be slightly different. There's going to be some in the I don't even remember what this area is called. I guess the Rockford Hills area, where the poles would have had the little like green lamps on the top of them instead of just the default lights that they have. the orange lights that they have. So I guess it kind of sucks that we didn't get that, because it would have added just a little bit more variety to the game, but a lot of things like that did get cut. There were also a lot of other signage that were removed, like roadwork signs and a bunch of construction props and whatnot. So a lot of it just never made it to the game. Did you know? Oh, hello. No. I was gonna be throwing my controller. Whoops. Did you know that if you go upside down in this specific area in the water, you cannot roll back over? As you see, I am trying my hardest to roll over. It does not want to roll over. And then the car drowns. This is also the only area to add on to that where vehicles can easily drown for some reason. No matter how big, for the most part, the vehicles are, they will still drown if they somehow wind up upside down and the motor is barely in the water. I don't even know if the motor needs to be. I have never actually tested to see if that is the particular case, but for this specific area, all the way up to here to all the way down here, and I don't even know if this one does it too. I've never tested it, but if you roll your vehicle upside down in here, you better get ready to call Morris Mutual, because it ain't coming out. Okay, next one, which this one's gonna be a couple of them, but I'm not gonna bring the other vehicle in here for this because I really hate moving my vehicles around. Everybody who knows that feeling. Okay, sorry about the pause. So this is a interesting one, and I don't remember it used to being like that all the time, but about like 2 years ago, it's when I started noticing it. Any vehicle that is from the bunkers update, what was it, gun running? Any vehicle from that specific update that has the custom variant of it that can be brought into the arena can have bennies put on the wheels. So the technical custom, the insurgent custom, if you go to the wheels, wheel type, it gives you the options for bennies bespokes and bennies originals. Now, personally, these ones are ones that I would personally just go for because I don't like all the extra stuff on it, or these ones too, even. But these ones make it look more like an actual truck. But you can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you how to customize your vehicle, but you can do that with the Insurgent Pickup Custom and with the Technical Custom. I don't know if there's any other versions I'm forgetting, but as well as this, you can also bring the Barrage, I think is what it's called, from the Doomsday Heist that has the Avon logos on it. If you bring the Barrage into the arena, it'll have a vanity plate item, which I'm not sure will show up in any other garage. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But if you bring it into your arena workshop, it will have a vanity plate item and it'll allow you to put the Avon logos on it. The tank also has that as a hidden option, which is the vanity plate as well. But because you can't bring it into other buildings besides the facility, you cannot easily do that without merging. But if you have a vehicle that has vanity plate 1, which is just literally whatever the first vanity plate item is, besides none does not count. None is technically 0. If you bring or put a vanity plate on and then merge it onto the tank, it'll put the Avon logos on the tank as well. Did you know that there are a lot of incorrect road lines? Now, this isn't going to be a surprise considering that this game is a 2013 game, which a lot of people have forgotten. mind you, we are now in the year of 2026. So obviously there's going to be a lot of flaws, but there's quite a few that people would have probably never noticed. And a lot of the issues that the road lines have had, I actually have gone back on the PS3 to see if they were there, and they were just never fixed. The first one being weird little things like this, where for some reason this specific line on the road just doesn't line up with the rest of the lines. It's smaller and it's off-centered. The next one, which I'm sure is going to bother quite a few role players out there on console, and even ones that are on PC where they don't modify the map to be newer or whatever, and overhaul that type of stuff. There is a road line, I think, right here. Yeah, there's a road line right here that does not line up properly. So this is the left lane turn, but if you follow the line, yeah, go head on. All right, so the next one, which this one's a pretty weird one, and I don't know if there is a reason why they did it like this, or if there was supposed to be another bridge, whatever it may be. At this specific intersection, there's a line that says turn right, but if you turn right, you go straight down into the freeway. I also know that this is gonna irritate some of you OCD freaks out there. I have a friend that I showed that to, and they did not like that too much. Here is another example which I had seen on Twitter, which I didn't even think about. But there's a left turn here for a road that you can't easily left turn on, or supposed to left turn on. Meanwhile, this one doesn't have the option to turn right, but you can still turn right. Logic. Okay, so this one's a nice little one that many people probably never knew. It is a lot more work to pull the terabyte out for this, and it is a bit of money to do it. But did you know if you upgrade your terabyte to have the sonar to find collectibles, that it also works on the daily Gerald packages? Did you know that if you take a plane to LSIA and go to the runway and land on the runway actually renders in properly? But something that you probably didn't notice, and I do not know if this happens on PC or not, but this has happened all the way up from the PS3 to the PS5, is that if you go to Sandy Shores runway, it will not render in properly until you land. Okay, so here's a interesting did you know, and a lot of people probably would have never actually noticed this, but did you know that if you wear a thermal helmet either on the ground or in the plane itself, or use a thermal sniper while looking at the plane flying, or just land it on the ground, the plane is actually not what it seems. Despite the plane having two engines, it actually technically only has one engine. And the engine is dead center of the plane. The two engines on the back do not actually do anything, which might contribute to why when the plane goes down or when it takes a lot of damage, it starts handling a lot funkier than some other planes do. Because it truly only just has one engine. Okay, so this one's a bit of a interesting one, and this was going to be a throwback to a lot of the OG players who actually played back on PS3 and Xbox 360. Did you know semi-trailers didn't have bullet health? That's correct. They didn't have bullet health. They were not immune to explosions or water or whatever, but they were for some reason immune to bullets. Or if they did have a bullet health, they had a very, very high bullet health. That was fixed with the PS4 and or obviously PS5 version, but it was fixed with the PS4 version. But did you know that a lot of players, like me for example, used to find those giant, what were they? It said goods something on the side of the trucks. They were just, or on the side of the trailers. They're really tall trailers, and they had the giant back door in the back. Well, a lot of us, I tried to find one, but they just won't spawn semis, so unfortunately I can't show. You used to be able to shoot the top left corner and the top right corner with a heavy sniper, and it would pop the door, and you could glitch or get, well, I wouldn't say glitch, but you could get the door to come open. And a lot of people did that, and a lot of people would put their cars in the back of it or stand in the back of it and have fights with the police or other players even. To give you a reference of what trailer I'm talking about, is the trailer that you would use for the Union Depository heist when you use the gauntlets, when you drive into the back of the trailer. It is those trailers. But with the PS4 version, they made it so the trailers take damage, and a lot of damage from bullets. So, if you shoot the trailer, I think more than 3 times with a heavy sniper, it will just catch fire. It won't explode, it won't do anything, it'll just burn. Which a lot of people that were old OG players that came to PS4 and PS5 had a thought that maybe because of that it may have broken a few of the OG missions, because there's a couple of OG missions that don't work properly anymore that involve trailers, and the assumption to that is because they added those health bars to it and it bugs out the mission and it thinks that it's taking more damage than what it should be taking, which causes the mission fail. Anyways, there's one more thing that I want to show that has only been very smallly talked about, and this hasn't been talked about in a long time, which is the cut area. Okay, so for the next one, a lot of people and a lot of you have come up through this road before. What you probably never noticed and what you never knew is this sign has nothing on it. It says west and then right lane. What you didn't know was there was supposed to be another city somewhere over here. I'm not completely sure where, but if you look at this sign over here too, there will also be missing text for it. Same goes for the other sign from the other way. If you look at this sign, it's also blank, has nothing on there. And they could have easily filled this in by putting, I don't know, Ron's Windmill Farm or literally anything on it, but they didn't. in this area. I forget what the city was called, but there was supposed to be another mini city or mini town to it. One of the many things that got cut from the game. I've also theorized that's why this particular tower is here, is because it was supposed to go to the town that was potentially here, then got removed for this instead. So this signifies that maybe it was an early on thing and it just got cut and they just completely forgot to remove the billboards for it or something. Okay, so I was wrong. There are things on the signs. What I never noticed before is that there's only signs on this side. There are actually no signs for exiting or continuing on this side. They just don't exist. It never came across my mind. So I guess there's another weird did you know moment. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. And if you guys have things that maybe you knew that maybe a lot of people didn't know, or some really old facts that you, or glitches that maybe have gotten forgotten in time and is just really old, comment them down below and I'll take a look and maybe I'll do another one of these if you guys enjoy this. Anyways, until next time, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.